fellow travelers, welcome on in. This is the RPG Cave, level 202. Yes, folks, it's a palindrome episode. I'm one of your hosts, the level 299 human necromancer, Ryan Terford, and I am joined, as always, by the level 299 elf hex machinist, Garret Bland. How's it going, Garret?
I guess I'm 99 levels higher than you, Ryan.
Did I
Did you say level 2? Yeah, I think you said level 200. That's okay.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine, Garret. I'm getting. At least I remembered the classes correctly. Okay, I'm getting this under my wing. I'm building the muscle memory. Pretty soon, I'll have it, down pat without thinking about it.
You reminded like you remembered my class, so that's bonus points because I just made up those words. So good job.
You didn't make them up. They were like based on stuff that exists.
Yeah, and not make up the words, but very unconventional.
Of course.
Yes.
But this is the RPG Cave where we talk about role-playing games all the time, except for when we talk about the weather, because holy crap, Garret, the weather has been going out of control lately. It's been all over the place. Earlier this week, Garret, it was 30 degrees Celsius, which
is super hot.
Pretty hot. And then the next day, it went down to 8 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay. It went down pretty low. Yeah.
And that's during the day, at the high point of the day. At night, like we had frost. We had frost overnight, Garret. It was like pretty close to zero already. So it's just like summer came back for a brief moment and then kind of went to fall. So if I sound stuffed up at all or anything like that, my allergies are out of control right now. So
winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Yes. Please be excited. I mean, Garret, we're only really 2.5 months away from New Year's. So there you go.
And thanks for the reminder that the year's almost over.
Yeah, I mean we're less than a little over 2 months away from Christmas too. So it's craziness. It's craziness out there, Garret. But it would also help if I told people in Discord we were live. But that's enough about that. Let's talk about the RPG Cave. Let's talk about housekeeping. Let's, of course, get into that real quick. So, of course, first thing on the docket here is, of course, Extra Life is coming up pretty soon. We, of course, will be live streaming on the old Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Corporal Gaming Live starting on November 8th. So please be excited. We also launched, I believe, because this isn't in the document, but I'll pull this up real quick. All right. So give me a second here. We've got merch. We got merch. We've got merch to celebrate. We've got that. Oh my God! Here, vamp for a second. I'll pull this up.
I'm vamping. I've seen the merch. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool designs. Is this for Extra Life? I'm trying to do this here. So yes, yeah. So this is the Extra Life merch here. We've got, of course, the current logo here, guys. Look at. It would help if I actually press the button. You press the button. Cool.
Yeah, of course. Look at this cool logo, Garret. First of all, you got Easter eggs for all the shows on it. You've got the Xbox symbol for the Xbox Drive, the mushroom for the Nintendo Drive, the sword that's for us, Garret. The RPG Cave.
It's us.
Yeah, the pants for the Pants podcast, the van for the mini indie van, grapes. I don't know why there's grapes, but there are grapes there.
There are grapes.
There's a picture of Mitch's face on the right as well. So yeah, that's our new kind of merch. We've also got this zip-up hoodie, Garret, which I think is pretty cool. Where it's got like on the front, it's got the little kind of like Bobby logo for Extra Life
for $71.47 Canadian.
Yeah. And then on the back, Garret, we've got kind of the bigger logo as well. So I thought that was a nice touch. So I think Fee knocked it out of the park with this one. She did this design. Look at this cool mug, Garret. Everyone likes
that's a cool mug. I always like a good mug.
Yeah, exactly. So because our Extra Life efforts are underway, Garret, of course, we announced on the Xbox Drive last night some of the prizes as well. that are up for grabs, of course. So for every $25 you donate to our Extra Life page, which of course can be found at extra-life.org/participants/carpool gaming, or we're going to try and have that link in the description of the podcast as well. If you click on that, you go to our Extra Life page. So every $25 donated, it gets you entered into some prizes, including a handmade CPG 2025 commemorative plaque, which is made by Green Jeans.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, look how cool this looks. Yeah. Lockleth has provided some Squishmallows, a Squishmallow Essentials pack, as it were. So if you've ever wanted to get into Squishmallows, Lockleth has got you covered if you can enter that. Or a prize donated from me, myself, Garrett. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Special Edition.
Oh, that looks
for the
good.
Switch. Yeah. So you can enter to win that. Yeah, not this Final Fantasy case. Don't worry about that. We also, of course, have a merch prize pack with all the merch that I just talked about as well. I need Xbox indie game packs. Of course, that's kind of a staple for carpool gaming giveaways is these packs that we get from Xbox, as well as more prizes to come. So again, all the details can be found on our Extra Life page, including the link to the stream, the time, all the prizes on extra-life.org/participants/carpool gaming.
It's ramping up. It's ramping up, Ryan.
Yep.
Super cool.
We are also, of course, raising money for the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation as well. That is the charity we're helping raise funds for this year. So please be excited. Come hang out with us. Even if you don't have bucks to toss for Extra Life, at least come hang out with us because it'll be fun. Sure. We're going to have a fun 24-hour live stream, and we're going to get up to some goofy antics, Garrett. So please be excited about that.
We're going to do something.
Yeah. Also, Garrett, we've got new content over on patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Of course, Fuya's episode of the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast, which is, of course, our weekly AMA podcast, has been out all week. So you can make sure to check that out if you're interested. Also, Fee's episode will be out tomorrow. So make sure to check that out if you're interested in Fee talking about whatever. And Garrett, a little tease. Monday. Questions post goes up for someone who may be confirmed. It's me.
Oh,
so, spoiler alert, it's me. So, if you've got questions for me for the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast, you can go over there Monday morning and go over and let me know what's on your mind. If you want to talk about Canadian Thanksgiving, we can talk about that because that's when the questions post goes up. So,
oh man, that's a whole other holiday.
It's not even really the real Thanksgiving, Garrett. Let's be real. American Thanksgiving is next month, so.
Yeah, it always trips me up that Canadians have like their Independence Days and Thanksgiving's like super far off. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Well, it's not really super far off. Like Canada Day is only like 3 days before your Independence Day.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's July. Ours is July 1st. Yours is July 4th. So it's like 4 days apart or whatever.
What do you do in Canadian Thanksgiving? I'm curious.
Same thing as American Thanksgiving. You
really?
Go
eat
go
turkey
hang out with your family, eat turkey, make turkey related things, eat pumpkin pie. Pretty much all the American stuff. In fact, usually there's also a lot of football on Canadian Thanksgiving. So kind of like American Thanksgiving, a lot of people will sit down and watch football together.
Yeah.
Or hockey.
Is it a specific date or is it like a Thursday?
It is always the second Monday of October every year.
That is just very specific, yes. Because it's like America as well. It's just like every second to last Thursday, every third Thursday.
It's kind of like that, but inverted, I guess, in a way, where it's Monday and it's near the beginning of the month instead of Thursday near the end of the month.
Why did they do this for this holiday? Or just holidays in general?
Because I think Thanksgiving, if you look at the history of Thanksgiving in Canada, it's like, no, I'm not going to go down the giant rabbit hole, but we celebrate like different things, even though like what we actually do on Thanksgiving is basically the same thing. The history of like how Canadian Thanksgiving came to be is very different than how it came to be for Americans. So
Got it.
I think that's the reason for that, but. We won't get into that. Like I said, Thanksgiving is happening for us on Monday, and then y'all will have it next month. So
do you have a day off?
I do not. I am working on Monday.
Yeah. See, typically, like a lot of companies do this. It's like we take the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off.
Yeah.
For that week.
Yeah. See, the thing is, Garrett, since it's on the Monday, we never get that. That never happens. Where it's like most people will like it's like a federal stat day where everyone gets it off. Like it's a stat holiday for everyone on Monday, but obviously, people still have to work on stat holidays, right? So. It is what it is. But
and then the Friday after our Thanksgiving is Black Friday. You just don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't go to the shops. Don't go. It's a nightmare. It's a little nightmare.
Yeah, I was gonna say like we have those kinds of lines here, Garrett, for because our Black Friday is the same as your Black Friday, so that the lines can get kind of crazy. In fact, we always because I work, of course, I've mentioned before on the show, I work for a TV network, and we will usually send people out to like a reporter out to the mall every Black Friday to go cover the lines and stuff like that, and they're always kind of crazy.
Yeah. So,
but yeah.
Anyways.
Last two things on the housekeeping document, of course. Current Backtrackers game is Ravenous Devils. They're going to be meeting up on October 25th at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time in the Carpool Gaming Discord, which again, it's free to join if you're interested in joining up there. And also the current Book Crafters theme, which is our arts and crafts / reading meetup, a monthly meetup, is spooky season. So all things, spooky since it's, October. They're also meeting the same day, October 25th, 4 p.m. Pacific time or 7 p.m. Eastern time. The Book Crafters, of course, have mentioned to us to make sure to note that you don't, even though, they want to talk about, crafts and books. You don't have to talk about crafts and books. You can just show up and hang out if you want to too. So that is an option for that as well. So that's it, Garrett. That's all the housekeeping. It's all out of the way. But now I'm excited to know what's going on in your life because tell me about your things, man.
Yes, I got only 3 things this time around. Again, keeping it short this week.
That's fine.
First time, Ryan. First thing, Fleet Week. Ever heard of it?
I have no idea what Fleet Week is.
I haven't heard of it until I came to the Bay Area. But basically, we have a weekend of airplane shows. Just like general like airplanes flying around Golden Gate Bridge. And so we're going to go to that, visit that. Funny thing is, Ryan, the star of the show of Fleet Week is, I think, the U.S. Navy, I believe, is the Blue Angels.
Okay.
And they are like, like a typical air show, 5 jets synchronizing all their, flights or whatever. They were asked to go home because of the government shutdown.
Interesting.
So we have a federal government shutdown happening, and so they didn't do their last show either, which was like in Arizona or something like last week.
Okay.
So they just stayed home. The Canadians came in, Ryan.
Excellent.
And we got the star of the show, the Canadian Snowballs.
Snowbirds?
Is it Snowbirds? Oh, yeah.
I know because like the Snowbirds, like we have air shows here in Canada, Garrett. And I know that the Canadian Snowbirds have always been like a big thing.
Not the Snowballs, the Snowbirds.
Okay. I mean, Snowbirds makes a little more sense because they're flying in the air as opposed to Snowballs, which aren't really flying.
Makes sense. But they're coming over.
Okay.
And they're replacing the Blue Angels.
Canada representing, man. Yeah. Making sure Fleet Week is a success.
Exactly. So there's a lot more like ferries going over to the Bay Area or to the city itself, and there's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be fun. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna check out some airplanes. There's one like United Airlines, like huge plane that goes like crazy all around. So it's pretty funny.
Nice.
Anyways.
Adam David, of course, wondering if we can all just move to Canada. I mean, you could if you wanted.
That would be great. That would be great. But
it's cold here. I don't know if you want to do that.
That's true. Thing number 2, Ryan, my laptop connection to my USB-C dock, a little finicky, right?
Yeah.
That's what I told you before the show. I am not touching my laptop at all because when I was touching my laptop, the camera was going crazy on me, and the camera is connected to the dock, so got to be very careful. Now, when I connect it to my work laptop, it's totally fine.
Interesting.
I think it's just the connection on my laptop itself is just fading away. I have another USB-C connection on the right side of my laptop. I'll try it out later, see if it works.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if it's like only that one connector, maybe it is the USB port. So maybe trying a different port might help.
Yeah, I hope it. So all USB-C like ports are not the same. Sometimes they connect video out. Sometimes it's just charging.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to troubleshoot a little bit. Anyways, I'm gonna use this laptop like only for a few more months, and then I'm gonna build my PC. So
right. If not, you might have to just pull your Steam Deck back out again. Remember that when you did for like the entire month you did the show with your Steam Deck?
Well, wasn't that great? And it actually worked.
It actually worked. That's what I mean. Like,
yeah, it was legit. I actually removed Windows from my Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Just because it was just a little bulky, and I'm not gonna have Game Pass anymore. So I'm just
What? You're not? To be fair, go back and listen to last week's episode if you missed out on that. We talked about that last week.
Gasp.
I know. Of course, Yarden, rubbing it in, you should go get your PC built. But
then
you literally said it as Yarden typed that comment.
Soon, very soon.
Yeah.
And then it's funny. I'm like actually in the process, like when Extra Life happens, that's when I'm gonna move.
Yeah.
So and then I'm gonna travel. So I'm gonna be very sparse throughout the Extra Life stream, but I'll make sure to participate as much as I can.
Yeah.
And get involved. So
I will say people will probably see Garrett's face even if he's not really around.
Yeah.
During Extra Life.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
You'll see my face somewhere.
Yeah. Which is exciting.
Yeah. Thing number 3, Ryan. I don't know what to play.
But you already have like 2 games on the go. And there's a game I've assigned you too.
Yeah. It's just I need a. The thing is, I just need a console game.
Okay.
That I just want to really get into.
I see.
Like a home console game.
Yeah, because you're playing Bravely Default on the road,
yes.
Likewise, Shining Force is the type of game, Garrett, where I think you'll probably end up playing it on the road instead of at home. Yeah. As a console game or whatever. So, that's interesting. An interesting conundrum, like a big, meaty console game.
So I have a tournament bracket of games ready to go. I've listed them down. I just have to send it over to Sean.
I laughed because literally as you said that, Yarden, before even hearing you mention that, typed in the chat tournament bracket stream later today. I eyeball.
Probably not later today, but... Sean and I will coordinate, and we'll figure out a tournament bracket of some kind. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, I love it. I think it's a great thing. And the best part is, you'll get something. You'll be like, you'll know how you feel about it when it's actually picked in the tournament bracket.
It'll be interesting. Let's see. I think I have 32 games. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's going to be a long tournament bracket.
Well, we can immediately cut it in half.
Okay.
Like we'll go through the list and all right, let's cross off this, and this.
Because I was gonna say, it takes about an hour to do a 16 game tournament bracket.
Yeah, we'll cut it in half and do 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sound good.
All right. What else do I have? I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Those are my things.
Those are some good things, Garrett. Those are some good things. I respect those things. I like those things.
Thank you.
Good things. So, moving on, Garrett. We, of course, have a little side quest to do.
We do.
Now, I was actually hoping, Garrett, that maybe we would get something out of this Metaphor 1 year anniversary live stream that happened to talk about. But turns out they only announced one thing, which was a brand new way to buy the digital version of Metaphor Refantasio, which I just cracked up when I was just like, really? That's it. That's why we're here. This is you all made a whole big to do about this, and to be fair, it was a nice celebration live stream. Like they talked about some stuff they're doing. In fact, I'll share this here. So this is what they announced. They announced the guidebook edition of Metaphor Refantasio, which is just a new digital version of the game, which includes, as the name suggests, a digital strategy guide for the game, which comes with the
what everyone wants. In a video game, is the digital strategy guide. Yeah,
it also comes with an art book, a digital art book and soundtrack, and some of the DLC that they had. So you can dress your characters as the Persona 5 or Persona 4 characters if you want to, and it plays the subsequent kind of battle themes associated with them. But yeah, that's basically it. They also announced this, Garrett. Round 1, there's a collaboration at all round 1 U.S. locations. So 50 stores, they claim. If you go to round 1, you can then like win metaphor specific memorabilia. That's a thing.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I've never heard of this round 1 until now. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this collaboration. I'm just like, I never heard of this.
But you live in America, Garrett. That round 1 apparently is
over
is
50 locations. Yes. Let me look at Google Maps, see the closest round 1.
Yeah. Because I don't actually know. Because I even did a quick Goog, Garrett, because I don't even know what the closest round 1 is to me. I think it's in Michigan.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay. There is a couple round 1s around the area.
Yeah. Okay. See, there you go. You could go, Garrett. You could be our industry insider going to round 1 to go visit. The closest location to me, Garrett, is in Auburn Hills, which is like a suburb of Detroit. It's kind of like.
Oh my gosh, that's so far away.
Yeah, well, it's only like a 5-hour drive from where I live.
Only a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
No, I'm surprised. I just never heard of round 1 or never went to it. So.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in malls. That's why.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Since we couldn't talk about this, Garrett. Of course, there's more Magic the Gathering news. There's always more Magic the Gathering news. So I will briefly talk about this because they announced the final set of next year, the one that they didn't announce before. They had a whole big pig to do about this at I think it was New York Comic-Con, Garrett. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is coming to Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
Which is very exciting. So, first of all, this set, to me, feels like hard-coded specifically for one man, Andrew Simichek over at We the Dirty. Because he's like the biggest Ninja Turtle fan I know in real life. And, of course, there's 3 different sets. There's like the main kind of base set. There's like a commander set for like specific cards outside of the main set. And then there's a pizza symbol, Garrett, for like reprints of old cards, but textured in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles styles, which is very exciting. Cool. So of course we've got this card here, Garrett, which I love the artwork on this card. It's so cool. This is Turtles Forever. And what I love about this art, Garrett, is it's got the 4 like styles of Ninja Turtles that I think about when I think about Ninja Turtles. You've got the 80s cartoon Ninja Turtle here. And then next to him on the left, you've got the movie, the live action movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, I remember that.
And then on the far right, you've got the black and white comic book Ninja Turtle style. And then kind of in the middle, you've got kind of the TMNT 3D movie that came out in like 2007, I think. Because I remember there was like an Xbox 360 game for it. And PS2 even. And that's kind of like the 4 kind of turtles kind of represented here. I think it's really, really cool. Of course, you've got other treatments. You've got this like Kevin Eastman side special type of card that you can get in collector boosters, which is kind of cool. This is a look at like one of the pizza cards, like one of the magic reprints that is in the turtle style. It's kind of like got the old comic book style of the turtles, but it's on doubling season, which is actually a pretty expensive card and actually a pretty good card. So I love that that's kind of a thing. You've even got these cards here, which is like they have like this what's referred to as a pizza bundle, Garrett, which comes in like a magic container that kind of looks like a pizza box. And it comes with 2 of like 10 random pizza cards that involve like reprints of classic Magic the Gathering cards, but characters like doing stuff with pizza on them. So this Dark Ritual has like Splinter as part of the Dark Ritual putting black olives on his pizza.
That's wonderful. The creativity of Magic, the Wizard of the Coast, with all these different trademarks, pretty big. They're really into it. Exactly.
I also love too, even just the flavor text. They refer to Splinter as Splinter the Nibblemancer.
The Nibblemancer.
Because he eats food, Garrett. And then of course we've got the basic lands, which of course are pizza themed.
All pizza themed. Wow.
And they'll have like a little like the island symbol here is kind of in the middle of the island, or the skull for the swamp. That, although I don't know if you want to eat that pizza with a skull on it. Probably not wise. You get the fire.
Does he have his weapons through the pizza slice?
Yeah, he's got like his sai through the pizza, and of course the forest for Mikey. I like too that they kind of have like different. Like each of the turtles is represented by like a specific color in Magic, kind of like their headbands, but they just obviously don't match up because we don't have that. What's crazy to me, Garrett, is they associated Leonardo with white as his color and Donatello with the color blue, but like Leonardo's the only character in the Ninja Turtles that has a color on the Magic the Gathering wheel of colors, and they don't even associate it with that color. It feels like a flavor fail to me. But that's the whole thing. These are cards from a big commander set that because there's going to be like a commander deck that you can buy that's just all four turtles together, called Turtle Power, and it's all the colors of Magic the Gathering, so you can play all the turtles together.
So can it be like all in one deck, all the turtles?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a pre-constructed deck, so you can buy this deck off the shelf. It's all 5 colors, and it has all the turtles in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, which is pretty cool. So, that's Turtles plus Magic the Gathering. At least it's not more Furby cards, Garrett. That's all I have to ask,
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's at least.
I want more bands inside these cards, not just Iron Maiden. We need Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yep.
We just need other things. Yeah. That'd be cool.
I was gonna say, like, what other bands out there have like really, really like crazy album art? Because like that's what you're looking for. Yeah, Gorillaz would be a good one.
Gorillaz would be really cool.
I actually would love a Tool inspired secret Magic the Gathering Secret Lair. I think that would be really cool with like because most of the Tool albums have like crazy art on them. I wonder what else would work. I'm trying to think. Oh, Adam David says Metallica. I think that's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, Metallica's pretty big. Yeah,
Megadeth actually probably would be pretty good too. They've had like some really cool like album covers. Adam David also chimes in and says Tool as well. So
we just need a metal expansion. Just together.
All the metal bands. Avenged Sevenfold actually would be a good one too.
Yeah,
they have
that's a good one. I like that
bunch
one.
of good art. Yeah,
cool art.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. There you go. More Magic the Gathering, Garrett. I swear that'll probably be now that they've got all the announcements out of the way, that's probably the last time we're going to talk about Magic the Gathering for a while, which will be
Let me tell you, Ryan, I can go into each individual card of Avatar The Last Airbender and just oogle and ogle.
Yeah.
And just...
Oh, that's true, because actually like the big reveal for that will probably be coming soon because that set is out in like a month at this point.
Yes. Every card is coming from like a specific episode. And it knows exactly like the description, the art style. Perfect. It's just perfect. It's so good.
I did a quick check. We've only really know about 50 of the cards, and there's like 200 plus cards in the set. So it's gonna be a bit, and that's just in the main set. And then there's an Eternal set as well on top of that. That is also going to have like 150 cards in it, and we only really know like 20 of those too. So
and this is just Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's not even Korra. Korra is going to be a whole different thing, I'm sure, later.
Exactly. Which now that we know that TMNT is in here and Avatar, like they're getting like they're checking off all the Nickelodeon stuff, like they are. And not only that too, but we also got Jaws, which I think Jaws is actually like a Paramount movie as well. So it just sounds to me like Paramount is like all about the idea of working with Magic the Gathering, which I think is like a super interesting thing, which could lead to some like interesting ideas down the road. Could we see like Top Gun Magic the Gathering or Mission Impossible Magic the Gathering?
I see that. Yeah. No, good stuff. Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, Fairly Odd Parents. All Real Monsters. Maybe there'll be an All Real Monsters expansion. Rocko's Modern Life. Actually, like they should do like a whole set that's just like Nicktoons, like Nicktoons, classic Nicktoons. Get Ren and Stimpy in there, and a bunch of different Cow and Chicken. Like you got to get those Cow and Chicken on a Magic card. Come on,
classic.
Yeah, dude, so cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, Garrett, without further ado, without holding back any longer, it's now time to read from the sacred texts because we decided to, or I should say, Garrett actually came up with a really great topic this week. Where I assigned Garrett, as if you missed last week's episode, I assigned Garrett's next game for Garrett's Backlog Adventure, Shining Force 2, on the Sega Genesis, which I'm very, very excited for Garrett to finally play and then for us to talk about. However, there hasn't been a new Shining Force game in a very, very long time.
Yes.
And I wanted us to talk, like, I love this idea of, like, talking about, like, well, what will be next for Shining Force? Like, if they were to bring it back, like, what do we want in, like, a new Shining Force game? And also, like, do we think this will ever happen? Because as of right now, there is still no announcement. Like, the last announcement of a Shining Force game that we got was the mobile game, where they were going to do, like, Fire Emblem Heroes, where they were going to bring in a bunch of old Shining Force characters. And it was going to play, like, Fire Emblem Warriors, where you would have, like, a bunch of mini maps they would play on. But that just never got released at all, which makes me sad.
It didn't even come out in Japan. Like, it just... No. Oh, wow. Okay, so they just kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
I feel like the mobile game space, I don't know about in Japan, but certainly in the US, it's been going... it's not as great, I would say, as hopeful compared to, like, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, something like that, you know?
Yeah. I actually found out, because I pulled up Wikipedia, and there was a reason I pulled this up to look up some other stuff. Yeah. But they cited that with the cancellation, it was actually due to layoffs at the studio they had contracted to do this, which was Vespa Inc. They laid off 90% of their staff. Wow. And then they transitioned to they basically were then bought out to, like, a different company, where I think they now their big game is, like, King's Raid. That was kind of their big game before this game came out. But then they also there was just really low funding for the game as well, which just makes me sad. So it was called Shining Force Heroes of Light and Darkness, and I think it actually looked like it was gonna be pretty cool, but it makes me sad. But just to give you some context, Garrett, of the history of Shining Force, because we talked a little bit about this a long time ago on, like, episode 8 of the RPG game.
Oh my goodness.
We talked about Shining Force as a series. Yeah. And of course, the classic form of Shining Force, like the strategy role-playing game that I've really only introduced you to, Garrett, only really lasted until the end of the Saturn era, like the Sega Saturn era, so the end of 1995. However, there have been other games in the series beyond Shining Force 3 that have kind of continued on, because what they decided to do, Garrett, in their infinite wisdom with this series, after and this was partially because of the fact that Camelot was purchased by Nintendo, because because the series up until that point was only developed by Camelot, and Camelot was working kind of as, like, they were doing, like, a second party relationship, kind of like Quantic Dream when they were working with Sony on, like, Beyond Two Souls and stuff. So they were eligible to be bought, and Nintendo, scooped them up and made them make sports games for some reason. Because at the time they had done, like, Mario Golf and some other stuff on a contract with Nintendo, and they just bought them to do all the sports stuff going forward. So because they left, the very first non-Camelot Shining Force game, Garrett, was created by Grasshopper Manufacturer for the Game Boy Advance. It's called Shining Soul, and it's an action RPG. And it was not well reviewed. I think it has, like, a 61 on Metacritic.
Okay, it's not, like, terrible.
It's not terrible, but it's not great. And then they continued they did it like a sequel to Shining Soul. And then they of course, when the PlayStation 2 came around, they then did a couple of Shining Force games there, Shining Tears and Shining Force Nero, both of which were action RPGs. And in fact, as you can imagine, they continue to do Shining games as action RPGs going down the line. Till eventually when we got a Shining Resonance Refrain, which is the newest game in the series, that came out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Interesting.
In 2016. And that game is kind of like a Tales game. It's very, very similar to, like, the Tales series, where it's, you have these small arenas. You've got combo-based attacks. You're switching between the different characters. It very much plays like a Tales game. And that's kind of what they're aping on a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking into this a little bit more. Shining Resonance Refrain.
Yeah.
I've seen the cover art for this. I did not realize this was part of the Shining series.
Yeah. Because it has because again, like the Shining series, like it doesn't really have like one continuity that goes through all the games. It's kind of like Final Fantasy in a way, where there are some sequels to games, but for the most part, they're games that take place kind of in the same universe with like similar themes and character types and things like that. They're not really meant to be building on top of each other with one like canon story, essentially.
Sounds good. And so this game it released on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
2014. Yeah.
Which exactly was the exact same thing that happened with Tales of Berseria, which also was a late PS3 game that got a PS4 re-release. So again, like it's kind of funny that those games are kind of like so closely intertwined because they came out like very, very close to each other on PlayStation 3 and were very similar styles of games. But because this also was a Switch 1 game, Garrett. It was like released in the second year of the Switch is when it came out. And that version runs terribly, as you can imagine. So,
I'm sure.
But yeah, it's interesting that they tried this action RPG thing for the longest time with Shining Force. I don't know why they did that. I guess it was at first they decided with the initial like the Shining Soul games, the first Camelot games, to like out of respect to the developers, try something different with it. And I can respect that. I like the fact that when developers or publishers decide to do, different things with their established IPs and not have it be the same thing all the time. I think that's a good thing to do. But the fact that they went so long, Garrett, with none of these games really reviewing well or even really selling super well, they continue to make these games, action RPGs, and no one was biting, and they continue to do it. And I'm like, I almost wish they would have tried something else at this point.
It's interesting. The Shining Residence Refrain developer Mediavision, their recent game in collaboration with Bandai Namco is Digimon Story Time Stranger.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very recent game.
They also worked on the 100 Line Last Defense Academy, which came out this year too.
Really? Oh, yeah.
And they also worked on Valkyria Chronicles 4, which came out the same year as Shining Residence.
They're still a pretty active developer. Yeah.
Yeah, they make good games. And in fact, like if you go and look at their history, like some of their older games, really good. Like they worked on the Wild Arms series, like all of them.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. They also worked on pretty much all the Valkyria Chronicles games too, other than I think the first one. Although they handled like the remaster of the first one as well. So like they're a pretty good studio. And actually, like I think Shining Residence Refrain wasn't a bad game. Like I thought it was actually pretty good. But,
yeah, I heard it's okay.
Yeah, like it's not terrible, but it's not amazing. Like I think it's good. Like a nice 7 out of 10 game, I think. But that was kind of like the death nail for the series, where they've done nothing with it since.
Yeah,
they tried that mobile game, but I think again it wasn't even a testament to the game itself. The studio itself kind of fell apart, and they decided just not to ship it to anyone else. Essentially, it sounds like what happened with it. Yeah. And I was kind of hoping too when they announced a bunch of Sega franchises coming back. I was like, okay, this is finally the time. Sega gets it now with this mobile game already announced. And even though that failed, maybe this is the time where they they look at the success of games like Fire Emblem and do a new Shining Force game.
Right.
And they still haven't done it yet. And it makes me sad because I'm just like, it's an IP kind of like, Canonical Phantasy Star, like a Phantasy Star role-playing game, or just a bunch of other Sega IPs that are just sitting there begging to be used, like and brought back into the modern era. That this is just one that I wish they would go back to at some point. So, in the scenario, Garrett, I feel like we're going to sit down and talk about like, well, if Sega brought Shining Force back, what would we want to see from a new Shining Force game? Because to me, I think like strategy role-playing games obviously have come a long way since the Shining Force games have come out. And at the same time, we haven't really had new strategy role-playing games that really play like Shining Force, where we've talked about it before. Shining Force plays at a faster pace. It's almost more arcadey than something like a Fire Emblem. or another, strategy role-playing game, but not like too crazy in the arcadey direction like something like Disgaea is. Like it's kind of like a happy medium almost between Disgaea and Fire Emblem in a way. And we don't really see games like that. Like they're kind of like in the Fire Emblem direction, like very much in that direction, or they're kind of like going for a more like indie style direction like Disgaea, or even sometimes you'll see stuff like XCOM, like a lot of like XCOM likes, or Mario Rabbids likes. You'll see kind of in the indie space as well with strategy role-playing games. So I'm curious to know, Garret, as someone who's like newer to the Shining Force games in general, like what would you want to see from a new Shining Force game? Like what would make you want to pick one up?
Well, I mean, I think it's just a matter of like looking at the landscape and like what kind of strategy role-playing game do you really want to make from the beginning. As you said, Shining Force, happy medium between arcadey and super tactical.
Yeah.
Right. So it needs to have this Shining Force identity of some kind, I think. I was just playing like just a little bit, like a few minutes before the show started, just to get the feeling of the classic Shining Force. Of course, it has the more of a classical story in the beginning of setting what the story is going to be like. So it seems like Shining Force, the story itself, and I remember this from 1 as well, is very important.
Yeah.
Compared to like Disgaea or whatever, is like the story is very important. I know Final Fantasy Tactics has like their story is very dark as well and very important. Fire Emblem as well. So definitely keep the story in the forefront of their mind for sure.
Yeah. And that's something, again, they tried to do like a big epic story with 1 and 2, but obviously it was the Genesis era or the Super Nintendo era of games, and storytelling was just very different than it is now. Like there wasn't as much of an emphasis on it. So not only that, but some of it also, Garret, is lost in translation from the localization was not nearly as good with those games as back then as it was now. So I think that plays a big role into like, even though the story was important to those games, it obviously is not. When you play through it, it's not an amazing story. But I think that part of that is, a rough translation combined with just the era of storytelling that they had in games.
Yeah. I think what I like about Shining Force as well is like, well, at least coming from the first one, you have a set characters and you accumulate characters as you go throughout the game, and then you have a choice of like which characters to bring in and level up. They have fixed classes as well. There's not necessarily a choice. Now, Ryan, do the later games give you choices, or is it more expanded? Okay. It's a fixed set. Okay.
It's a fixed set. However, Garret, there's something you're going to discover later in the game, in this game in particular, that's different from the first game. Because if you remember in the first game, you'll promote your characters later in the game. However, in this game, there is a choice between 2 different paths to go down for certain character classes.
Okay.
But only if you obtain a specific item that allows you to do that.
Okay.
So
interesting.
If you ever pick up an item, Garret, and you have no idea what it does, it's probably that.
Okay. So there's like an extra criteria to like have separate paths for upgrading units. Okay.
And then eventually with Shining Force 3 on the Saturn, they just made it so that you always got that choice. You didn't need the special items.
Okay. I do like that where you have 2 different options, or like multiple options. I think Fire Emblem, I feel like with 3 houses kind of just steps over itself a lot with like, you could choose all the different classes or characters or whatever. It got a little too
everyone
messy.
Could be anything.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the fixed set. I like the direction of Shining Force. It just makes it easier, I think.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I think it really adds more personality to the characters by having them kind of be like a fixed set. In the way that, Final Fantasy VII, as an example, has very clear character archetypes where even though the materia system can allow you to like dabble in other abilities, there's going to be certain characters like Aerith is always going to be the strongest magic person in your party because she's like very much like a mage character. Like her stats are always going to be reflective of that. Whereas Cloud is always going to be like kind of like your big beater character. Like regardless of how much magic you give him, his most powerful things are always going to be usually his attacks. So it plays with that, like because I think again it helps with the storytelling. Where if the characters have clear archetypes, I think it helps in a way with that. And if you give them like two different like options with promoting them later, I think it still kind of works within the bounds of that.
Yeah. I think of quality of life things as well. I don't know what happens in 2 or 3, but it would be nice to have. The turn order seems random. For one, I would like to see like some sort of active time bar or something like that, like just at the top or something. Okay, like in C, based on speed of the character, it can go faster, it can go slower or whatever. But it'd be nice to have some sort of guiding point with the turn order of the game itself.
Especially with some enemy characters in Shining Force, Garret, their speed stat is so high that they'll have like 2 or 3 turns in a row. And it's like, well, okay, this is what we're doing right now. It's 100% based on the speed stat. So your speedier characters will always get more moves. The slower characters will obviously get less moves. And like having a bar that reflects that, I think would be really like a good change. I think.
Yeah. So, those are kind of the top of things I think of with Shining Force. The art style. I'm curious, Ryan, what kind of art style would you be into for a new Shining Force game? Is it going to be more like Fire Emblem, or you want something completely different?
I kind of want like a cell shaded art style, because I feel like
shaded art style. Okay,
because that really I think kind of is the closest in my mind to trying to recreate like the original Shining Force style, or even if they didn't want to do like a big ambitious like 3D game, maybe if they wanted to bring it back in something like HD 2D, I think that would be like interesting. Where if you had it almost look like replicate the pixelated style of this. Like actually, like I think this brings it in a good part of this discussion here. Do we want this to be like would we want Shining Force to be like a bigger budget like very 3D style game like a Fire Emblem, or would we want to see it more like a triangle strategy or something like that, where it's like HD 2D or like a pixelated style, or like something that looks like, or even just something 2D, like something very old school looking.
I think it's the biggest success would be a bigger budget animated kind of game, very similar to Fire Emblem, cell shaded, really nice graphics and art style.
Yeah,
I think that's just the way to go with and it seems like that it follows with the Shining action RPG.
Yeah,
it does. Kind of art style as well.
Because like I think the Shining action RPGs, as much as I don't like the gameplay of those games, I think that the art style of those games were actually pretty good, and especially because it really like I think the cell shaded look really helps bring out the type of character designs they're really going for with these, especially like even some of the non-human characters, like the werewolf character in your party as an example, like bringing a character to life like that, I think would look so much cooler in like a cell shaded style than like a very realistic like looking style, I think. Or like the bird, you got a bird guy like Luke in your party or something flying around. Like I think like those characters like would fit so much better in like a cell shaded style, I think. But yeah. I would definitely think like a 3D style game. You're right. I think is probably the way to do this instead of a 2D one. It was just something obviously I was exploring the space a little bit, but so besides the turn order, obviously, there are certain quality of life improvements we would want obviously over the Genesis ones, like some improved menuing, because the menuing is kind of a pain. Crazy. But again, it's like it's a Genesis game. Like obviously the menuing is going to be better, I think, with a modern game.
Yeah.
I do. One of the things, though, Shining Force series has always done really well is difficulty settings. They have usually offer you 4 difficulty levels. Garret, especially in Shining Force 2, they give you more difficulty levels. And then eventually, if you beat the game on the higher difficulties, they'll unlock even harder difficulties if you want them.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, if you're like that crazy. So I think they've always done like that really well. Whereas Fire Emblem, I think like could stand to learn some things from that, where Fire Emblem really offers like the most casual difficulty you'll ever find, Garret, or like this game's going to be super hard and you're going to spend hours and hours on missions, and there's not like a lot of in between there.
Yeah, and I think also Shining Force does a good job with like It doesn't have the classic casual option, and I would like to keep it like that, and then maybe like reviving characters. I think that's super neat. There's like afterwards, okay, you pay a little bit of gold and then you revive a character. I like that mechanic a lot.
Same. In fact, like I like that how it scales too, because it scales based on the character's level. So like later in the game, it costs a lot more to resurrect your characters. But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because if you just play on casual mode in Fire Emblem, well, you just, of course, are going to throw your characters in willy nilly, not caring if they die, because like there's no penalty on death. Like at the same time, I'm also the type of person that never plays on permadeath mode for those games because I know I'm just going to restart the game anyway. So why am I going to bother putting myself through that? It's kind of the way I look at it. So I think I like having like a happy medium between those two, and I feel like that's kind of how you do that, where there's a penalty for death, but it's not backbreaking.
Yeah. Playing classic Fire Emblem mode in Three Houses was on hard was such a pain for me.
Yeah.
And it's because the AI, if you make one character vulnerable outside, they will throw everything at that character. Like you have to always play on the defensive mode, and then it takes so long. So it's good to have that mechanic in Shining Force, and it can be, even though maybe one or two characters die, that's okay. You can, but it costs gold, right? Yeah. So there's a little bit of punishment.
And what they could do is cool. If there's like different resources or something in a modern game, maybe you have those be like your resurrection currency.
Like a second currency or something like
that.
They
could find some other way to kind of like even flesh out that system even more, I think. But one thing I thought about, which of course now I'm blanking on. Never mind. Just pretend I did. Oh, the design, like how you go through missions and stuff like that. Because in Shining Force 1, Garret, it's very linear, where you're going chapter to chapter and you're not really, traveling the world and stuff like that. However, Shining Force 2 and the other Shining Force games, like both 2 and 3, they kind of have this like open zone mentality where you are walking from place to place like a traditional role-playing game. And then you'll encounter strategy role-playing battles along the way. Sometimes it'll be a story battle. Sometimes you'll do like a side battle on the way to a destination. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that system a lot. Like one of the biggest complaints about a game like Fire Emblem or a game like Disgaea is going back to the hub area and then there being like a bajillion kind of annoying things to do in the hub areas, like stuff that doesn't really add to the game. And I kind of like the simplicity of not having stuff like that. So like if we had like a modern Shining Force game, I would almost hope that you don't have like a maybe like you have a small hub area to go to like change out members in your crew, or do little things like that. But then it's something very quick and easy, like you're in and out kind of thing.
Yeah. Make it more streamlined, for sure. And then that would be really cool for Shining Force. So anything else?
I'm trying to think. What else would we want?
Well, would you like branching paths in Shining Force? Like do you want to? Yeah, like Fire Emblem a little bit, but not like. Yeah, maybe like Fire Emblem, like a good middle ending, bad ending. Would you like something like that with Shining Force?
It probably doesn't need it, but I don't see a problem with it. I think it depends, because I think part of that plays into like how much replay value you want for the game, or where do you want the replay value to come from. And again, for me, like Shining Force, the replay value usually comes from playing the game on harder difficulties. But but maybe you do something like that, especially if they're going for this big expensive story. Like maybe there is like either a choice-based system, or maybe you do play on, maybe they have multiple paths to go through. I personally don't feel like a game needs that to feel good. Like Fire Emblem Engage, as an example, like I thought that game was fine without having that stuff.
Right.
And I don't think every strategy role-playing game needs that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm wondering, with Shining Force 2 and 3, were there optional characters?
There are optional characters that you get. Like there are characters you can go through that you can't collect. or not collect. Sorry, I should say characters that are optional. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool to, make sure to streamline that a little bit more. It's like, okay, here's this side quest and if you go all the way through, you get another character, right? Or maybe a choice between two characters.
Yeah, that'd true.
That'd be
they
cool.
do actually offer that in Shining Force 2 at one point. There will be a choice between one of 4 characters you can recruit at a certain point in the mission. You only get one of them.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there are certain points like that, or like others where it's like if you pass through this area without going to this one side area on the map, you lose that character, like that option to get that character forever, essentially. So, having better ways to communicate to the player, like, hey, there's this character out there you can go collect, like having a side quest or something like that. I think it would be helpful, because otherwise, like, if you wouldn't know about it unless you looked it up in a guide or just explored the map, essentially.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to dive into with Shining? I just want to, I think they can bring the identity and a lot of the foundation of Shining Force back into a new game.
Yeah.
I would like, a good developer that they rely upon to make this game. I'm curious, Ryan, is there a developer in mind that you want the Shining Force to come back with?
I actually think the most likely, so first of all, I would say that there's not like a specific developer I would have in mind, especially at Sega, because they don't really have developers that do this kind of thing. They would have to contract someone else to do that. And there's not, and again, since there isn't really a lot of games in the indie space, as far as I know of, that are doing this style of game, that's why it's hard for me to think of a specific developer, because since we're not really seeing developers go through this, there's not like, so to be like, it's someone obvious to be like, yes, them, please get them. So the one I actually thought of, Garrett, do you remember Persona 5 Tactica?
I do.
Because like that, the developers who made that, I feel like maybe well, that's the thing. When I look this up, it just says Atlas and P Studio, but that can't be right. I feel like it was, I thought there was someone else.
No, I think it was them.
So maybe it is that. Maybe that's the play. You get Persona Studio or Atlas to develop.
Etrian Odyssey and stuff
that's
like
true.
that as well.
But yeah, because I think you're right. They probably have like a team there that does all that stuff. Like maybe that team does the next Shining Force. Or the other option I would actually throw out there, and you might like this one, Garrett, Vanillaware.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Like seeing their take on Shining Force, I think would be super interesting.
I mean, they really proved their chops tactically with Unicorn Overlord. So I think they can translate to a Shining Force game pretty well.
Like they're a studio that again, I don't think Sega actually owns them, but they only ever work with Atlas. So they can get them to work on something like that. Like I think Vanillaware Shining Force would actually be pretty awesome. But I also would be afraid that they would make it more like Unicorn Overload, which is not something I want. And also I kind of would want to see maybe even a Unicorn Overlord 2 one day or something. But, like that. But other than that, like I don't really know of like a studio that really jumps out at me to do it. The hilarious thing, Garrett, is if they asked Nintendo and worked out a partnership to make Camelot do it. Which would be hilarious.
Yeah, one can dream.
Yeah,
I think the people that make those classic games are pretty much either transitioned over or gone, because they're making all the sports games now.
Yeah,
right.
No, exactly. So, that's what I mean. It would be funny because no one still works there that worked on any of those games, or even really worked on a lot of the role playing games. Because like all those people who worked on Golden Sun, they're all gone. So
they're all gone. So. Anyways.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see who would do that. But yeah, like if they were ever to do it, I actually think like Atlas or Vanillaware in particular would be like the studios I would imagine Sega gets to do it. Or again, maybe there is like, let us know in the comments, honestly, actually, if there's like an indie studio that is making this type of strategy role-playing game that would be a good fit. Like I would love to hear from y'all, because I think because I just don't play enough indie games or enough indie RPGs out there. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Like maybe there's something we don't know about.
There was one Metal Slug Tactics developer.
Yeah.
And then I think they also did Into the Breach as well.
Yeah, like they're they do a lot
Studio.
of whatchamacallits. They do a lot of Gabara games. I think. Oh no, they're the publishers. Lelkier Studio.
Yeah, Lelkier Studio.
Yeah,
Lelkier.
I think they do a lot of like specific like XCOM style games. I think is kind of their deal.
I see. I mean, that's another route, and I'm sure that can translate to a Shining Force game in some way. But yeah, I couldn't think of many other indie developers that would be really into the making a game like this. I imagine this can be bigger budget, and I can imagine this could be a competitor to Fire Emblem.
100%. 100%, dude. A bigger budget Shining Force game, if done right, I think could trounce even something like Fire Emblem as far as like the game itself. Not whether or not people would actually give it a chance, because of the fact that Fire Emblem has really been on the top for so long, I think is kind of the harder question to ask. But I think I think game wise, like I think that is a bigger potential of success than even the new Fire Emblem does, probably. But yeah,
cool.
So that's it about Shining Force. I think that we had a good discussion. I think we have a clear idea as to what this game, what we want to see. But now let's hear from the NPCs, Garrett.
Let's do it.
On podcast characters. We got one this week. This one comes from J Hetfield 0816, who says, "Hey guys, here's my question. What do you think is the most overrated role-playing game on either the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis?" That's an interesting question. First of all, thank you, J Hetfield, for the question. I also, fun fact, Garrett, I will also mention that after we, of course, found out all the stuff about the new version of Metaphor ReFantazio, Jay Hetfield in our Discord said, "I still wish they'd release Ryan Turford's Fantastico edition of Metaphor ReFantazio." Which would be cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So I had some time to think about this one, Garrett. So I'll give you some time to think about it. Honestly, this is one I probably wouldn't have said until this year, replaying it this year. But this was a game I replayed this year, and I just wasn't feeling it in the same way I did with that, because I feel like the last third of this game really falls apart. And it's a game people love, so I know I'm going to get some hate for this one. But I'm just going to come out and say it. It's Final Fantasy VI.
Ooh.
This is a game that a lot of people have on their like top 5 games of all time,
Right.
top 5 role-playing games of all time lists. And again, I agree with people when it comes to the story, the characters, the music, the visual design. Yes, 100%. Yes, I agree with you. All that stuff is top-notch with this game. But when you go to kind of the kind of the third act of the game, and if people have played Final Fantasy VI, they know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it in case people have never played it. It just falls. Oh my god! It just falls so hard. It's so annoying to navigate, especially if you don't have a guide. And even with a guide, it's still very annoying to kind of navigate through. Like, I am just not a fan of the way the game kind of carries out its third act. At the same time, it's really ambitious for the time. And I understand what the developers were going for. And I love the fact that they were trying something different with this game. But for me, like, this kind of keeps it out of like my top. Like, I don't value this nearly as high as other people value this game.
I see.
For that reason. And that's why I think it's overrated. It doesn't mean it's bad. I actually think Final Fantasy VI is a great game despite my quibbles. It's just not one of the greatest role-playing games of all time. Or at least I personally don't think so.
I see.
Yeah. What about you, Garrett?
Well, I mean, I haven't played too many RPGs.
Yeah.
NES, NES, and Genesis. I don't want to say something's overrated just because...
but that's what the question's asking.
I know. But I wouldn't say I have enough breadth of RPGs I've played to know. But everyone's saying Chrono Trigger is the best game of all time. I played it. It's good. It's great. And it holds up for sure. I know some people would say it's overrated.
Yeah.
Just because of how much Chrono Trigger's spoken for all these years, and we're begging for a new remake and everything.
It kind of is in that Final Fantasy VI camp a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Where everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's like the top 5 games of all time. Yeah. And it's like, I think it's a great game, fantastic game. And I think, people are saying it's their top 5 games because they kind of grew up with it. They played it when they were young, and it kind of stuck with them ever since. Yeah. So you can say Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI are like, those are the top ones for sure. But are they the greatest RPGs in the SNES? Some people would argue against that. Maybe.
Yeah. I think so. I think there's definitely an argument to that. I mean, we're Yarden's just like, what is going on right now? I mean, look, Yarden, we're just answering the question that was offered to us. Those are just the ones that we came up with. Because that's the thing. I feel like a lot of other role-playing games on the Super Nintendo are fairly rated, or on the Genesis are fairly rated, like or are deserving of the praise that they get. Like Phantasy Star 4 on the Genesis is a perfect example of this, where a lot of people think it's honestly one of the greatest RPGs of the 16-bit era, and I agree with them. I think it's very, very good. Whereas a game like and again, it's not us saying Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI are bad. I think we're both saying that they're great games. They're just are they the greatest role-playing games of all time? And I think we both kind of agree there might not be. Although I'm definitely a little bit higher on Chrono Trigger than you are. But that's also, and it's not because I grew up with it. I actually played, I didn't play Chrono Trigger for the first time until I played on emulator, Garrett. Like that, like I played it in like 2004 is when I played Chrono Trigger for the first time. Really, really enjoyed it, but and think it's an excellent game that stands the test of time. I think even better than something like Final Fantasy VI does. But is it one of the greatest role-playing games of all time? I think it probably is, but
it could
I could definitely see the argument against that. 100% I can. Yeah. Yarden, of course, chiming in, says, fine, I'll go. Super Mario role-playing game.
Actually, no, Yarden, that's a good one. That's the correct answer. Actually.
That's actually a very good one, Yarden, because there are some people out there, Garrett, who also put Super Mario RPG in the same camp as Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI, and to that I say they're wrong.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I think we both agree with that. Also, Garrett, if this was opened up to Game Boy Advance, I think you'd probably actually say Golden Sun.
Oh yeah, easily. Golden Sun, it doesn't. I mean, like, there's so many people obsessed with Golden Sun. I'm like,
that's me. That's me. I'm one of those people.
I don't know. I hear, oh my gosh, what's the GameCube RPG? The Paper Mario.
Oh,
Thousand Year Door.
Thousand Year Door. Yeah.
I hear that's overrated, like hardcore. So
it is a little bit, yeah. But
sorry, Nakachaka.
It's a good game. It's just not. Is it the greatest role playing game ever? I don't think so. But it's good. It's a good game. But also, I think it also just comes down to taste too. Like it's like, when we talk about overrated stuff, like, everyone's tastes are different. Like some people just like some games just hit people differently than other people. Like, cause I'm, as an example, Garrett, you and I can both coexist, even though like I love Golden Sun. I think that game is incredible, but I also respect your opinion and the fact you saying that you don't feel the same way. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to have different opinions about games. So
is it?
Yes, it is. We don't like that's what it means to be a human being, Garrett, is we don't all need like the same things. We can like
comes back full circle. Okay. We are human beings.
We're not AI. We're human beings, So that's just the whole thing. But anyways, Garrett, I think that's going to do it for today's episode of the RPG Cave. But before we go, we got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Brendan Myers, a.k.a. The Winter Gamer, and Jonathan Brown. You can check out, of course, the Hoodland Rumble over on Kickstarter with JB. Of course, does the music for that. He also does the music for the Xbox Drive as well. So you make sure to check that out. You can also check out his link tree, linktr.ee/pb.gib, or just watch a Sean Capri stream. You'll hear a lot of JB music during one of those as well. So make sure to support our ultimate producers because they support us and they're really awesome. Our platinum producers, Betty, Smokin' Joe, the Captain, and Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, Hambone Jonny, John 32, Laura, Ligerwoods 330, Mr. Giggles, OldMrFrump, Peje P, Stephen Keller, and Technical Michael. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons. We're at patreon.com/carpool gaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And now Garrett, plugs go.
You can follow me at Blue Sky, at Blind Explosion. You also find me on the Discord. I acknowledge each and every message in the RPG Cave. And then you can also follow me on Backlogged. I need to update that. I beat Cyberpunk. And
you did.
I'm blazing through Bravely Default. Like, I feel like I'm getting close to the end.
Oh, come on. All these chapters that you're going through are great. It never ends. It never ends, Garrett.
I have things to say about this game.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot freaking wait for you to talk about it.
Can we have a full episode on Bravely Default 1? Like,
yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Dude.
Anyways, that's pretty much it. How about you?
Well, as for me, you always find me in the Discord at Ryan Turford. In fact, you can also find me on backlog.com or letterbox.com at Ryan Turford. In fact, I even uploaded my backlog this week with some contentious picks by marking both Ghost of Yotei and Hades 2 on the shelved designation.
Oh.
Yeah, one, because Hades 2 is a game I want to come back to at some point. It's cool, but there's other games to play right now. And Ghost of Yotei, I ran into a bug with that game and can't really progress.
Oh.
And I have to wait until the game gets patched. So that game is shelved for now. I also put up a review for Silent Hill 3, or Silent Hill F, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Silent Hill F.
I heard it's good.
I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was pretty good.
Wow.
But, yeah. You can also find me, of course, on Blue Sky at Ryan Turford. I don't really post there, but you can find me there if you want to. You can follow me there. And I think that's going to do it. So for Garrett Bland, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been the 202nd level of the RPG Cave, and we're out.
Bye-bye.